Based on the reviews and design, it will go further.
See, here we will have, means for an example, now here the requirement gathering, analysis, designing, and then
They
implementation,
will
testing, and then it will go for the review.
reviews.
So
Yeah.
even the implementation and testing will also will happen. But whereas in this particular prototype model,
Prototype.
so after the requirement and then analysis, here itself the prototype will be prepared and then presented back. So this is, so now we can save this particular three phases before itself we can do it, and then it will be developed. So that's the basic differences between this particular prototype. So now this is what the advantage which will be getting it in this particular thing. So now here first thing what they will try to do is they will be having a regular, means actually the basic, I think Jay probably explaining about this particular IND. So this is the most important thing which you will be doing in this agile. What is this particular IND is? Inspect and adapt. Example, think that you have been went for the forest for a trekking or whatever it might be. So you have certain tools like compass, and then you went. Okay, let's imagine that we all went as a group for the forest trekking. Suddenly, you have been missed from the group or from the mob, and we have been isolated in the forest. Now, what you will do, you'll be having the compass. So now we'll be just trying to analyze. Okay, where is our base camp? And from the base camp, so how long tentatively we have been come? So probably 4 to 5 kilometers we have been came. Which direction we came? So probably we have been walking through towards the north for a longer time. So now I think if I'm going ahead, so I'll be going to the deep into the forest. So if I go in the north direction, now what I'll be trying to do? Okay, now what is my next step? I need to go back to, see now if I wanted to reach back to the base camp, which direction I need to choose now? Which direction I need to choose now? South, right? So because I'm walking towards the north, I came for 5 kilometers. Now I need to go back to my base camp. So then I need to walk for the south. So then I keep my compass to south, and then I start walking for towards my base camp. Will I keep my compass inside? No. What I'll try to do, I'll walk certain distance, and I'll first once again monitor whether I was going in the right direction or not. And then I'll see that, hey, is this a place which I have been walked towards this particular way, or is there any other way which I need to come back? So this is what I'll be thinking towards, and then I'll be doing it. Means what I'll trying to do, for every distance I do an inspect, and then I'll adopt. So for an example, now if I feel that, hey, this is not really exactly the south, so this is going for southwest, or it is going for the southeast. So then what I'll try to do, once again I'll make my direction towards exactly south. So now what the point you need to understand here is, so always when you're doing certain work, you need to inspect and adapt, because the most important thing in this particular agile world is what is our goal. So yesterday I think he might be giving you about the example of the pit stop, so the Ferrari race. So now what would be the goal of the entire team, entire cruise? What is their goal? What is their goal?
To win the race.
To win. So now when we wanted to win, everyone should have the same goal. Now the complete team, are they going for this particular thing? So goal is nothing but, so we have been defined certain user stories or certain requirements which we have been taken. Are we towards completion of this particular requirements or not? So entire team will inspect themselves, and then they will adapt to that particular changes. See now in this particular thing, the most important thing is adapt to changes. This is the most important thing which it can be doing on it. Means it inspects, it checks, and then adapt to the changes. Now any particular changes are required. So now in the waterfall model or these things, we have the bigger disadvantage that we need to wait till the end of the delivery. But here what it happens is it will quickly change its forms and then complete that particular things. And the next most important thing factor which it wanted to do it is, in waterfall model, now that would be a bigger chunk. Now whereas in this particular agile world, what it will do is it will make into a smaller chunks. So now small. So now rather than deploying the entire project, means completing the entire project, what they will take is they will take this one first piece. Team, go on mute. So now they will take this particular smaller chunks, and these particular smaller chunks they will move to the they will complete it, and then they'll move to the market. Now, what is this? Time to market is most important. We have been discussed about, right? AHA example. For which model we have been discussed on this? For which model we discussed?
Incremental.
So in incremental model,
Incremental model.
so we have been discussed about this particular AHA, right? So as quickly as possible, we should able to reach to the market. So now not only this particular incremental model, even the RAD model also talks about the same thing, right? So in the RAD model also, what it will happen, parallel, it starts all, and then it will club in the all. But we will be doing that particular parallel development. So now here we will be having, what it will happen is, it will have different sprint teams also, and the different sprint teams will work on this particular activities, and then they'll deliver it. Now, if you see here, what do you need to understand is, if you have been understand all these particular models thoroughly, means waterfall, iterative, incremental, iterative, prototype, and RAD model, V model. So these all models, what are the disadvantages it was having it? So those has been become the advantages of this particular agile model. See, that is what these particular people has been created, that particular principles. 17 or 16 principles will be having it, right? So that particular, 12 principles, right? So that particular 12 principles has been defined by these particular 17 people, right? So 17 people together, they came, and then they have been created this particular set of 12 principles into the market. So now they analyzed each and every model. What are the disadvantages in each model? They have been covered for it. So first thing, the time to market, they have been brought it up and adopted to the changes which it will be coming it up. So now, as soon as the time to market decreases, the cost of this particular project also decreases. So the number of resources also decreases, and increasing of the team collaboration increases. Team collaboration is increased, because now you remember, right, when you're playing a game, for an example, if you're playing cricket, so now you need to know that all 11 players should have the same agenda to win, and everyone need to their responsibility, they need to do their particular jobs thoroughly. It's not that means if the batters bat well, if the bowling team didn't bowl well, absolutely the match will not win. And the same thing, if the fielders not do well, so match, the catches wins the matches, right? If they lose the catches, then obviously we also lose a match, right? So everyone should have the same motto and same collaboration to winning software. So that would be the basic agenda of the agile, and then they have been moving on it. So it saves the cost, it saves the time, it increases the team collaboration, and it had the faster feedbacks. Now you see it, right? Every disadvantages in this one, so it has been overcome into this particular agile world. You take every model's disadvantages, they have been taken up, and then they have been created that one into this particular they converted them as an advantages, and they have been worked on it. And usually they will be having a shorter sprints. Anyways, these particular things he would be explaining about you, so when he comes for the next classes. So the sprint timelines means the sprint is nothing but you'll have 100-meter sprint. So in our athletes or in our school days, we used to have, right, 100 meters or 200 meters or 500 meters, we'll have it, right? So that is called a sprint, right? So now we'll be having a sprints, like we can have 1 day sprint, 2 day sprint, 1 week sprint, or 2 week sprint, which is 15 days. So now this is how the sprints would be there. Means on a 1 day, they used to deliver, means they will make the complete SDLC and then deliver it. So Facebook follows the 1 day deliveries. Means morning they will take the requirement, by end of the day, they will push it into the production. Do you remember in waterfall model, it takes some years. These people take 1 day. Morning, get the requirements, analyze, design, implement, test, push it to the production. Everything will be done in single day. So that's the speed, means that's the time to market, which it has been derived with the agile. So now we'll have 2 days sprint, 15 means 5 days sprint, 15 days means sprint means within that particular point of time, that particular project need to be completed. Project means it's a requirement. So now here, these particular requirements in the agile, it will call as user stories. How to do the estimations in the user stories, these all things would be a different part together. So those things will be discussed in detail as part of agile implementations. Okay, so now this is how this particular sprint cycle works. And here we have the ceremonies. Ceremonies means, for an example, now even we will be having the ceremonies, right? So now cradle ceremony
Excuse
or
me, Chris.
yep.
Is there any particular time period in sprints in real time work?
These are the
Particular
particular time
days?
period. Now they will not make it as a mandate. You can choose whatever it is convenient for your team. For an example, now we will be having Indian cricket team. So Indian cricket team, they have their certain strategy to do ball, and West Indies, they have certain strategy. So now during the course of, I'll just take a simple example to understand this. During the course of 1980s or 19 till 2000, West Indies are the dangerous bowlers in the world. Now, what they have been done is, because to take a revenge on Australia, so they have been means they have been trained the bowlers to bowl deadly bouncers. Now, that is the strategy which it made them to be a World Cup winning team for consecutive wins, or most dangerous bowlers in the world. And then consecutive, they didn't even lose a single test match till 1999. Why I'm saying this one is, their strategy is to bowl, means to create on the bowlers. Australians, so these particular people, actually speaking, before them, these are the people who bowls well. Then these people converted themselves as a best batsmen. So now this Australian team strategy is to create the batsmen well, to face these particular bowlers. So now you need to understand why I'm saying this one is, so every team will have their own strategy. They will adopt to that particular strategies. Now here also, what would be the sprint deadlines? You know, Facebook implemented within 1 day, but certain companies will take 15 days based upon the maturity and the level of implementation of the sprint. If it is well matured enough, that particular procedure and process, everything is well matured enough, then I think 1 day would be enough for them. So it depends upon the company to company, they will change this particular sprint life cycle. Some people will adopt for 15 days, some people even adopt for 30 days. Because within a day, so completion of this particular, see, for hearing it is very simple. Hey, converting means requirements, analysis, designing, implementation, testing, development, pushing into the market. These all things can be done in a day. So that's a simple thing to say, but it is not as simple as that. They should have matured models to do this implementation. See, now this is where it will come, the terminology comes. So CMMI or CMM level. What is the CMM level? So we will be having level 5 companies, level 4 companies, level 3 companies, level 2, level 1. Now, what are these particular CMMI level companies? What do you mean by CMMI?
Audit, is it a type of audit for software companies?
So now, for the capability maturity model. Okay. So now, what is this particular model defines us? Now, every level, now you can see it, right? Level 5. So now, for an example, we'll say that, hey, this is a level 5 company. This is a level 2 company. Now you can see that level 5 company will have the complete process performance and continually implement. They will be having, okay. So now to make it to, okay, because this is altogether a separate session if I wanted to talk about this one. So now even because recently I have been applied for for the QA for level 3. So now we have been, what are the things we need to do it? So it is a big checklist which we need to follow. Means they will so now this is a body, it will come and then evaluate us. Means it will make a complete an auditing process, saying that, hey, whether we are following the complete documentation properly or not, whether we are following the complete processes or not, in terms of the each department, how we are maintaining these particular things department wise. So they will come and validate that, and then they will be based upon the validations and the process levels, and based upon our maturity of implementation of these things, they will be giving us these particular levels. So now if it is level 5, means these are the people have a standard maturity process in terms, means for an example, now there is an HR department. So how to recruit a particular person and then onboard a particular person, and how to give an internship, or how it need to be trained, and then how it need to be merged into the project. So complete particular process would be neatly defined and documented, and it can be explained thoroughly with the latest trends and technologies, making that particular process to be viable and implement. See, now this is how each companies will have that particular different type of levels. Now what you need to understand from this particular perspective is, so every company will have their own levels, own maturities. So now based upon these particular maturities, they will be selecting this particular respective number of days of sprint which they can achieve and go to the market strategy. Okay, any more questions on this particular sprint timelines?
Who will decide this sprint? Agile.
Same. So now, what means, who will be having in an agile team? So now we will be calling this as a sprint team, right? Now in the sprint team, we'll be having project managers, scrum master. So these are the different roles we will be having it. PO, product owner, scrum team, where we have the developers, testers, release management teams, all other peoples will be there. So scrum master, product owner, scrum team. So these all things, all team members would be calling it as scrum team. So this team will vary from 6 to 9 people. Maximum size of a team size should be 6 to 9. Now this team will decide that overall. See, now this would be like a team decision. So now I told you, right? So this Agile always talks about the team collaboration. Now these all people will decide that, hey, whether we need to have 1-day sprint, 5-day sprint, 15-day sprint. So these all people will decide, hey, based on our maturities, I think this would be the recommended. So that is how, as collaboratively, every decisions here will be taken as a team, because our goal is common, because it is not like a silo taking a decision. Silos means working isolated. They work only isolated. They'll not depend upon others. They don't care about others. Just you given me the work, I'll do it, I'll deliver it. I don't care what the team is doing, or I don't care what it was happening for the project. Just whatever the work you given to me, I'll do it. So this is one of the dangerous signal for the company that they are not going in a right direction. But majority of the companies works like that, because none of the people wanted to collaborate with each other. See, Agile wanted to bring that particular agility. Agility means what? Adapting to any particular situations. You should be agile. You need to change and adapt. So now, so we Indians are very agile. So now we will be sustainable for summer. We will be sustainable for winter. We will be sustainable for rainy season and autumn. So we are sustainable for any seasons. But in certain countries, they sustain only for one climate. Only cold means only cold. They can't go with a simple hot. So that is what agility. So now this particular project should able to adapt to the changes. So if the project have this situation, then it need to adapt to this situation. When you have this problem, then we need to adapt to that particular problem. So that is how this particular agile team should be changed and worked. And as a team, they work together, and then they will be having this particular timelines. Hey, this is what the respective timelines we wanted to have it. So that particular things majorly taken by Scrum Masters and the POs and the Scrum team. Together, they will be taking on it. This is how a Scrum team will form, means created, and then it will be followed. So anyways, you'll be getting it completely details into this one, but I just wanted to give you a high level summary. So how this particular stuff works. Okay. Any questions?
Okay, thank you.
One question for me. Before in my company, the Scrum call, actually they say the Scrum call, Scrum meeting. So it used to happen in every 3 months or 2 months. Now they have come down to 15 days. So it means that they have improved the process, right? That is what we mean. Every 15 days once now they are doing it. So the ratio has just come down. They increase the Scrum development calls in 2 weeks now. So I think they are improving the process. That is what it means, right? The level is
Absolutely not. So now that is not the way we need to evaluate the Scrum process. See,
okay.
first of all, when it comes to, see now, meetings are called in Scrum as ceremonies.
Okay.
So now, for an example, I told you, right? So we'll be having different ceremonies, like a cradle ceremony or marriage ceremony, anniversary ceremonies. We have different ceremonies. So now in Agile, we have 5 different kinds of meetings or 5 different kinds of ceremonies. We shouldn't say that as meetings, we should pronounce it as ceremonies. So because this is the way the people will understand whether you have the experience in the Agile world or not. See, they will easily understand if you're using the requirements. They will feel that, hey, still this guy is in a waterfall. So you need to
Okay.
adopt to the complete terminologies. Now here, when it comes to this particular ceremonies, we will be having daily ceremony. Means we will have daily meetings. And this meeting will be having props of approximately 15 minutes to 20 minutes. They will define these particular numbers also. How much time you need to spend, means what are the ceremonies you need to follow in this particular agile framework. In this particular agile framework, you'll be having this particular 5 categories of ceremonies, and into this particular ceremonies, how much time you need to spend and what you need to discuss or what is the agenda for this particular ceremony. Now, example, if you take this one, this is the daily ceremony, means it's the daily stand-up, means here you'll be having 6 to 9 people of your team members, as it is a defined size. It shouldn't be more, it shouldn't be not more than 9 people, because if you have more number of people in the team, the communication between the people would be very less. So that's the reason some Scrum would strongly recommend not more than 9.
Oh.
Now, so for each and every simple pointer also they have a very good rules and regulation, and then logically it has been explained thoroughly. See now they clearly gives the explanation. So now here we have 9. So now here one person can communicate to the 9 people. The same way the other person also communicate to the 9 people. If you increase this particular cycle, communicating to these particular people would be more. So once again you lose the collaboration. So that's the reason we'll have the restricted people. So now for this particular 6 to 9 people, they'll be giving 2 minutes per head. In 2 minutes, what they need to say is what they have done for yesterday, what they are going to do for today. Is there any particular challenges they have been faced?
Okay.
So that is what called as daily stand-up meeting.
Okay.
Okay, so this is what one ceremony, and this ceremony should be continued throughout the sprint every day. Every means team member, the Scrum team member will come and then he'll talk about that. Hey, I have did this yesterday, and I'm going to do this one for today, and then these are my challenges. If anyone can help them, so please we can connect back. So now after this meeting, they will connect and then they will resolve that particular problem to them.
Okay.
So
I think
that
the
is
organization wise it's going to sorry.
yes.
So organization wise it is going to different, right? Because in our Scrum call there will be
No.
around 80 to 90 people are there. Because
No,
even the
then
vice
that is not
president,
Scrum at all.
Scrum development team. No, it's a sprint demo. That is what
That
because the
comes later.
BPs, the CMMs,
That comes
everything will
later.
be there in the call. Okay.
So now this is daily stand-up. Daily
Okay.
stand-up should consist of only 15 to 20 people. So 15
Okay.
minutes to
Okay.
20 minutes. And
Okay.
this will have only 6 to 9. This is specific to that particular sprint. So this ceremony,
Okay.
you know, our marriage ceremony is different. Or reception is different. See, every occasion, you know, for an example, now your reception you'll have it with your only closed circle or only within your family. So now that's a very closed. Now marriage, this can be open for anyone. The same way, so here the next one, we have the certain things like sprint planning and sprint demonstrations and retrospectives. Sprint planning, sprint demonstration, retrospectives. I missed another one. So now here what you're talking about, the sprint demonstration,
Yes.
backlog refinement.
Sprint demo is
So
demonstrated,
now
exactly.
here we have another, the product refinement or the backlog refinement ceremony. Now these are the different meetings it will be conducted. So now for doing this one, so this much of time you need to spend, and this is specific to the Scrum team. And sprint planning, so this is also specific to the sprinting, and which we need to spend around 2 hours to 3 hours of time. And sprint demonstration 2 hours. This can be public because sprint demo will comes at the last, that they have been completed that particular sprint and they wanted to expose that one to the external world. So now when they wanted to give this particular sprint demonstration, this would be given to the entire world saying that, hey, we have been achieved this goal.
Exactly. Yes.
But
Yes.
internally, when it was happening within the daily ceremonies or within the backlog refinements or sprint planning, means what are the user stories we need to pick for this sprint? What are the things we need to achieve by when we need to complete this one? So these all things are comes as a sprint planning. So in sprint demonstration, what we discussed, so these are the things which we have been achieved. So we will do that particular demonstration to the entire world where everyone can attend for this one. So the product owners or the business managers, all the cross sprint people. So entire other team members will be joining for this particular sprint demonstration.
Yes.
Now,
Yes. Exactly. Yes. You are
yeah.
on the point.
So
Yes.
going for the retrospective. Retrospective means always, so you need to do the soul searching, right? So once you do any particular activity,
Sorry to interrupt, Chris.
Hmm.
Uh,
Go ahead.
in agile model is divided in project in piece by piece, right?
Hmm.
So sprint also decided like that only. Sprint one, sprint two, like that.
Absolutely.
In my understanding.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
This is a sprint number one, sprint number two. So now for an example, so I told you, right? So this diagram, okay, I have some smaller chunk. I'll take this user stories for the sprint one, sprint two, sprint three, sprint four, sprint five, sprint six, because I'll take this into one particular sprint as an independent things, and if there is any particular dependent on everything, so I'll make it into club into one particular sprint, and then I'll deliver this one. So these all things will be coming as a sprint one, sprint two, sprint three, and everything. So there is another terminology called sprint zero. Sprint zero is nothing but it's a prerequisites where you will be making the preparations of this one. All prep activities will be having into this particular sprint zero. Okay, so
Thank you.
so this is how the sprint numbering and these things will be coming back. And coming back to the retrospective is nothing but it always says that what things went well and what things didn't went well, means what are the challenges we have it and how we should have been overcome these particular problems. And we will give the appreciations to our team members. Hey, this is what you have done, and it's a good job. So means we'll take certain time and the slot to appreciate our team members who have been helped me in this particular sprint. At the same point of time, we also discuss that, hey, these are the things which didn't worked out well in this particular sprint, so these are the things which I need to change, or as a team we all need to change. These are the things which we need to change it. So these things will be discussed as part of this particular retrospective. If you see here, every meeting will have a different responsibilities, different agenda, different timings, and according to that it would be implemented. So that is how the sprint was very organized, and then always we can understand what it is exactly going on. So these ceremonies will make you to collaborate very strong. So now these demonstrations will be having with the clients. So now you can see it, right? So within 1 day, 2 days, or 5 days, or 15 days, you're presenting it to the client and then doing whatever the changes. And daily you're catching up with the POs. If there is anything to be changed, anything to be updated, so they can do on this. In the daily sprint, even the client also can come and join here.
Yeah.
Specific for this one. For only the clients can join. Hey, these are the things we have, because they wanted to inspect and adapt. So now every day morning, if they're saying that, hey, this is what I'm trying to do, this is what I'm going to achieve, if there is any changes, the client or the PO will suggest that, hey boss, I think you're going in a right direction, let's catch up after this call so that we can discuss in detail. So that's how this particular things would be worked on. So this is the way we will be doing the implementation. This is the how we have the advantages, and this is how the sprint team size, ceremonies, and the period of the time it takes to work on. So this is how this sprint works. Now there are a lot of other frameworks we have. We have Kanban and Scrumban. Means Scrumban is a combination of Kanban and then Scrum. So combining them, it is called as a Kanban. And these are Scrum. So now this is Scrum framework. So now in Agile, so these are the different frameworks we will be implementing. Agile is our SDLC. In this SDLCs, I have different frameworks to adopt and then do on this one. So now we have, so I told you, right? So we have been certified with the KMP1, KMP2. So now Kanban process. So now we have different frameworks which we need to do on it. So now there are certifications for this one, CSM certificate, and agile code certifications, and then this Kanban certifications. These all things will be doing on it, so that we can understand thoroughly how this particular process works and doing on it. So that's how. So these are the basic advantages, and this is how the Scrum team works, and then deliver the outputs. In contrasting with these particular complete SDLC models, it takes that particular contrasting and have that particular advantages as part of this, and then moving on. So to know about this particular empirical process values, ceremonies, and the team sizes, and then on this particular implementation part, anyways, Jay will cover as part of his training sessions. So that's the reason I'm not going to the details of this one very detailed, because what is our agenda they'll discuss, how much time they'll be having it, what is sprint planning, what are the activities we'll do it in the sprint planning. I'm not going to discuss about that one, because that he will be taking care on it. But what is my intention for this particular session to bring it up is how, in comparison with the SDLCs to the other waterfall models and other SDLC models, how it is getting contrasted.
Sure. Thank you.
So these are the things which we are going to discuss. Now, the basic, now here, we can't say that there are a lot of disadvantages point of view, but still, for anything, you will be having the pros and cons. Now, in terms of this particular disadvantages, migrating of the companies from the existing to this one. So this is a very big change. Now, actually, this is not a process change. This is a cultural change. Means complete the culture need to be changed here. It is very hard. I'm telling you, right? Thinking in the agile mode. See, always the people will be in. We have two modes. One is collaborative and then command. People habituated to be in a command mode, not in the collaborative mode. So now agile trains us to be in a collaborative mode, because all the project managers, POs, everyone will be followed for some ages and years with this particular command and control mode. But suddenly, if you wanted to change it into the collaboration mode, this would be really a big tough challenge for them to change. And as I told you, this is not a process or SDLC model change. This is a complete cultural transformation, which it is not easy. So many people think that they are following agile, but really they are not following it. Just by conducting these particular ceremonies, they feel that they are following agile. Ceremonies is not the one which it will talking about to do that. The most important thing is the values, the Scrum values, the Scrum principles, the manifesto, agile manifesto, and agile principles, whether we following these things or not. So these are the things which we need to take care. Only following these particular 5 ceremonies, the people think that they have been changed into the this particular agile. No, that's a mindset change. So now, do you think that changing one or two, it's okay? But if an organization consists of 500, 600 people, changing 500, 600 people mindset would be easy? Absolutely not. By default, what they will do is they will come back to this, because that's their originality. So, in sake of the people says that, hey, now I certified with the agile, I'm agile coach or CSM or KMP1, KMP2, safe agile 4.0, whatever it might be, but they have been habituated for certain years. Some people will be having 20 years, 30 years. All these years they have been habituated to this particular mode. Do you think that with one session or two sessions they will change the complete 30 years of experience into this?
No.
Absolutely not. Still, what the people will do is they will dilute this particular agile model, and the principles which it has been given, it will be diluted, the manifesto will be diluted, and these particular values would be diluted, and these ceremonies will be diluted. They'll say that there is a sprint team and they'll have 15 people or 20 people in a team. Because what framework it sets, because you need to maximum have 9 people, because if you have more number of people, you'll be having the cross connecting with the team members will be very less. Don't do this one. No, my team members have more, then that's the reason I have been increased to this. Okay, you create 2 sprint teams, 16, right? You divide 2, 8 people you'll be getting into 2 different teams, work as a 2 different teams and then work on. Operating multiple sprint teams, that is called sprint train. When you go for agile coaching, so there will be understanding it. So these all things would be not understandable by easily by the team, and then adopting to that particular changes is really very difficult. So these are all the things which it makes the into the part of or into the bucket of this particular disadvantages. Means they will not understand that particular values, they will not understand that particular principles, but simply they will say that, hey, I following 5 ceremonies, and then I have this particular sprint time, so then I can say that I'm done. I'm following the sprint. So actually speaking, that is not really agile. So now I'm telling you, right? Some companies only hire the agile coaches. So Scrum. So actually, I did my CSM agile coaching. Came these all things in 2014. Oh, sorry, 2014-15. During the course of time, I have been done. At that time, this is very popular. So getting these particular coached certified people in the market, it is very rare. They have very good demand. Now that particular course itself, nowhere. So you certified with that one or not certified with them doesn't really matter. Now what it matters to the company or anything, ultimately time to market. See, now if you wanted to understand this one, you need to understand these entire things. See, the people, I'll give you a small example. People only sees that, hey, you see that, right? Hussein Bolt, for winning that particular thing, so he got 900 crores, 900 crores of money, right? So he has been completed his sprint within 9.3 seconds, 9.3 seconds. Okay, so he got 900 crores. So everyone thinks that, hey, see, for 1 second he earned 100 crores. See, this is what the people see, but actually you shouldn't see this one. You need to see his 33 years efforts, right? How hard he has been kept it, how many days he didn't had his food, how many days he has been worked as a labor, and how many days he has been spent his sweat blood to get this all. So this is for 33 years, 9.3 seconds he earned this money. It's not that for 9.3 seconds he earned 900 crores. See, how many people will think about this? See, now when we wanted to see a particular product, so they will be they will not even bother. You know, the same thing, right? So many of the farmers says that we see the rice, we waste the rice, and we do the food, all the things. But to get that particular rice into a plate, how many farmers will be working for it, and how many months they need to work on it? Anyways, we are getting it for 100 rupees 1 kilo or 60 rupees 1 kilo. We're getting it. It doesn't really matter. So I have the buying capability. I'm doing it. But if you understand that particular process, then you will definitely have the value for this. Right? The same way, when the people understand the complete procedures and process of developing this, they'll understand the value of that particular outcome in the product. But the people will not bothered about this. I'm telling you, right, 99% of people will only look on this. Only 1% of people will look on this. Now where we should be, it depends upon us to choose whether you should be part of 99 or whether you should be part of 1%. Always we need to think those all things. And agile is not only for the software. Agile can be implemented in our daily life. When I attended for that particular agile training program, many of the housewives, or you take, see, I think that is the most complicated job which I feel, because we feel that we do the most complicated things and from day to day, but I seriously feel that the most complicated jobs which should be done, because I seen my mom very closely, so I felt that. So now the most complicated job doing for the housewife, doing handling multiple tasks, multitasking, implementing organized structure. So these are all things will it be not possible. So this is how this particular agile, when I go for this training, so they given us the pure cut examples of an house where how they need to handle it. It is not only for this is not only applicable for the software industry, this can be applicable for any industry, anywhere, any mode. So we need to know that particular process thoroughly so that you will understand, or how you will know the tariqa to derive that particular outcome or give that particular outcome to the respective clients or to the market. So that's where understanding of these particular concepts. So attending for 1 hour, 2 hours, they will feel that, oh, I completely know agile now. Absolutely not. It is, agile is nothing but, it's a transformation. It is a change. It is a collaboration. So that changing into that particular mindset, it takes a very long time, a very long time. And collaborating with the people and leading a people. So everyone people feels that, hey, if I wanted to lead a team, that would be an authority. That is a designation, which is a power which I can show my muscle. So this is what the people think. No. When you wanted to lead a team, so you should have that accountability. You should have that responsibility. You need, means as a leader, your major responsibility to create another leader. And you need to shield your team. And you need to guide your team. You need to shout at your team. You need to yell at your team. And you need to save at your team. And you need to laugh at your team. And you need to be, see, you need to be like all in all for your team members. Because you need to step them for the next levels. If you are leaving them, then you are not a good leader. When they have a crisis, or if you're not training them properly, you see, as a leader, it's not the responsibility to, hey, I need to be in a good books to them, I need to talk to them very nicely, closely. Not really. So even, see, I remember my maths teacher, so who was my headmaster when I was studying at 5th standard to 10th standard. He used to beat me every day because I'm very poor in maths. He used to beat me every day, and he used to take me example every day. If he have any work, he used to tell to me. I used to feel him. See, he used to shout at me, beat at me, and then once again he used to give it to me because he loves me a lot, and he always care about me a lot. That's where he used to beat me, or he was feeling that, hey, I'll be spoiled if I'm be pampered. See, everyone will have their own tariqas, own ways of handling the team, own ways of doing it. If someone is only looking at, hey, talking to you very nicely and then doing the things very nicely, then obviously he is not a good mentor for you. When you're doing wrong, someone need to stand up and say, hey, this is wrong. This is not the way you need to do it. This is the way you need to learn it. And if he says every time, oh, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, if someone is saying that, then you will be not trained properly, because they want you as a team. So that's they're doing it because they wanted to get the job done. That is right. There is a hook and crook. You can do the things done. If someone is saying that, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, means it's okay, you will never grow. If someone is not asking you to learn new things, if someone is not giving you a challenging task, if someone is not chasing you, and if you're relaxed and comfortable in any job, then you are not in a good state. I'm telling you, right? When means I have many people, many friends in Bank of America. I used to work there previously. Everyone, they're staying there more than 20 years, 25 years. And my friends, whenever join, there were 16 years. I'm asking you, you guys will not join. It is very hard. I worked there only for 1 year, 4 months, because I changed consistently 15, 16 companies in span of my 18 years. So I was just talking to them. So they are saying, see, what I used to do is every day I'll go office at 10:45 at 11 o'clock and go for a coffee break, and I'll come back at as soon as I just go and keep my laptop there, and then 11:30 we'll go for a coffee break with my friend, and I'll come back at 12:30, 1 hour coffee break, sitting in the cafeteria talking on nonsense, and then at 12:30 we'll come back, and then we will once again. Sorry, I think this is a recorded session. I'm taking the company names. It's not about the company name. I just wanted to share you the reality, what it happened to me. It's not about the company. It's about my mistakes which have been done. Okay. So, and then at 12:30 we'll come back, and then 12:30 to 1 o'clock I'll just check out my mails, and 1:15 we'll go for lunch, and we'll come back at 2:15 to 2:30 and have some power naps or with that particular heavy loaded food. So we'll be sitting at 2:30 to 3:30 or 4 o'clock, and we'll go for coffee break in the evening, and then 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock coffee break and evening walk, and then we'll come back at 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock, and then 6:30 we'll back up. I wasted my career for 1 year 4 months, which it implicated to me. Next company which I have been joined for one of the startup company, I don't want to bring up the names here. I joined in that startup company. Literally, they made me to cry because 1 year 4 months I was outdated because I was very comfortable. How much comfortable, for 1 year 4 months I didn't learn anything. They were very friendly, they were very encouraging, everything. So when I start to come and fell in another company, they literally ripped me off. Morning 9 o'clock, night there is no end time, only start time. I used to stay in office for 3-4 days continuously. Means today morning if I came, today night, next day night, next day night, next day, with the same clothes, no proper brushing, no proper foods, no proper clothes. Literally I used to do it. 1 year 6 months, it's like a hardcore jail. Why I'm saying these all things to you is, see, these all mistakes, even though if I say you'll not believe and you'll not do it, but because I told you, right, life will take you everything and then it will do for you. And for 1 year 6 months, what I learned, last 13-14 years, what I didn't learn, within 1 year 6 months I have been learned there. Always you need to remember that. Always you should be like a burning on a pan, or like in a pressure cooker. Then only you will learn. Oh, okay, of course, because we have the tendencies, as an engineering graduate, throughout a year, I'll not read. Tomorrow morning exam, even previous day also, I'll not start reading. At night, midnight, I'll start. After 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, or tomorrow morning, I need to have an exam, I need to clear it off. And I cleared 21 papers at my last semester because I need to pass out. I need to come out. So till that all drop, and then we go for a movie. Just for me playing a cricket match, drop, and then I'll go for a match. Just to roam around with the friends, drop. Now what had happened? Morning one exam, afternoon one exam, next day morning one exam. You tell me how I need to read? Just by hatted, vomited in the papers. What I learned from the BTech? Nothing. When I came out of the BTech, what job I need to do? I don't know. Where I need to go? I don't know. What I need to answer? Nothing. I don't know. I don't even know how to print a Java, simple hello world program. See, these all things, see how you will be encountering is if you get a proper lead, a proper things, and don't feel that everything I need to experience, then only I'll learn. Then obviously you'll be falling back or failing back. And you know what? The competition is like, see now, recently I met with one guy. He came for internet connection and he was talking about the complete wireless technology now. I was surprised and then asked him, what's your graduation? And he said, I'm master's in electrical and electrical communication, and then I'm from Anna University, and he was a top grade. And his shirt was torn, and his pant was completely dirty. When I seen for the first glance of him, I thought like he was coming for some other third grade job, which he was trying to do it. But when I seen his qualification and the way he had it, the knowledge, skills, I was literally, my tears are rolled. See, because we have lot of people unemployment joining for anything. See, how many people here? Mostly from previously engineer from a village, it's a big deal. Now from every door we have 3-4 engineers, PhD graduates. PhD, it's equivalent to a doctorate. Many people clear their doctorate and they don't have the jobs. They're working for 15,000, 20,000. I'm not means saying about the salaries. It is salary will never define our quality of job or our knowledge. But you just understand the situation how we are in this, means how we are now, how competition we have it, and how we need to change ourselves, and how we need to upgrade day by day. These are the things which we need to think about it. Don't feel that you are a comfortable zone, and if someone is pampering, someone is doing it, I don't prefer you people to go there and then talk to them. So always you should be hard. So now when you train hard, now you can sustain anywhere. That is how you need to be trained. However, I think I have been wasted all your time for last 10 to 15 minutes. However, so holistic idea of this particular session to talk about from the agile and then go for the levels of testing. However, by today, what we have been completed is we completed all different categories of the SDLC, means what is meant by SDLC, what are the different phases of the SDLC, and what are the different models of the SDLCs, and contrasting between them, differences between them. So these are the things which we have been discussed. So from tomorrow, we are going to the testing concepts. Now you understand that where exactly the testing has been started in all these particular models. Now, this is the origin of the testing. And from here, how these particular binary concepts would be built in and then created. So these are the things which we are going to discuss as part of this.
Chris, I have a doubt.
Mhm.
Actually, what is the difference between daily Scrum meetings and daily stand-up? Does it lie in
Both are
the
same.
same?
Both are same. Yep. The different companies will pronounce it in a different name.
Okay.
They'll have the Scrum meeting, daily Scrum meeting, or daily stand-up meeting. All things are same.
Scrum meeting and daily Scrum meeting is also same, right?
Same. See, unless they say that sprint planning, backlog means backlogs refinement meeting. So those are different. But this daily stand-ups and this Scrum meeting, everything's are common. Those are
Yeah,
same.
usually they discuss the blockers and all, right?
It has a three-pointer agenda. I told you, right? What we did yesterday, what we are going to do today, and then what are the challenges they have.
Right.
2 minutes per head. However, this guy will make you for a workshop if possible. So he will give you a clear-cut explanation on that particular things.
Okay. Okay, Chris, thank you.
Okay, then fine. So tomorrow, I think you guys can continue on the same levels of testing. And actually speaking, so here